I'm here with Drew from Chicago Palace, a fellow Chicagoan like myself. Drew, thanks for joining the show. How are you tonight?
Doing good, Justin. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. And again, seems like not anyone is watching live right now, but for those who watch later, this is another edition of the Fixture Focus show that we started a few weeks back, where we bring a North American-based supporter of the club that West Ham are about to play and talk to them about their team, how their team's been doing so far in the season, and then also obviously talk about the match ahead. So let's dive right into it. I always ask, and I'm always interested in, especially North American-based fans of English teams, since most of us don't have, a hometown affinity for the team that we support. How did you become a Palace fan?
Well, it was really pure luck. I really just started watching the Premier League in 2013-14 season, for Palace's first season up in the Premier League in a little while. And it really just started, I remember it, because me and a buddy of mine who was actually a Bayern Munich fan, we took a half day of work and went to watch a Champions League match here. And I just I'd always watched the World Cup. I played soccer growing up, but, never. And they don't have the, as many games on now as they used to, or now.
A lot easier now.
So it's much easier to watch now. And, what? This was fun. I'm going to give it a chance. And then as the season went on, Palace seemed to be on a lot. I like the style they played, and they're a counterattacking team. And then end of the season, Liverpool came in, took a 3-0 lead.
Yeah, classic.
Win. And I think I already known that Palace was going to be my club, but that made it for sure.
So that was like the cherry on top.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll always remember watching that game. That game essentially was the beginning of the end or really not even the beginning of the end. That was pretty much the end for Liverpool in terms of winning the title that year.
Yep.
Yeah, classic match, a classic match.
Yep.
Okay, so let's move into your squad. I actually haven't seen. In past seasons, I feel like I've watched Palace quite a bit. And for some reason, I guess the games haven't lined up and my schedule hasn't lined up. I haven't seen that much of Palace this year, and haven't read a whole lot about them until this week. So the summertime, it seemed like there was a little contentiousness between Zaha and the club. I know Zaha handed in a transfer request. Arsenal was looking at him. Arsenal may have made a bid, and Palace simply rejected it. So I was interested to see how Zaha would get on as the season started. You guys have had a great start to the season, so let me bring it back. In the summertime, right before the season started, you had that contentiousness. I'm not sure of other signings that you made, but what were your expectations of Palace before the season started?
What I expected the same as usual, that you're going to beat some of the big clubs and they're going to struggle against some of the smaller clubs. Just the same. Losing Wan-Bissaka and not really getting a replacement right back was something that me. Joe Ward, he was the right back for years before that. Now he's back into position and he's doing all right. But, we spent Man U spent a lot to take him from us, and we really haven't spent that money. So I'm wondering what's going on with that. Who I thought was going to be our top transfer coming in, Victor Camarasa. I felt when I watched Cardiff last year, he was their best player, and he's struggling to make the bench. So, I'm happy with where they are right now. Unbeaten in 4 home matches. They've always struggled at home. I don't know why. It's
interesting because that atmosphere just seems so intimidating.
Yep, and unbeaten there, and then of course they got the win at Old Trafford, which they're going to get at least one of those every single season. I mean,
Yeah.
by the season so far, but I'm happy right now because I was worried. I was with Zaha. He's just you don't expect him. It's every year that happens though, but this year seemed to be the most serious. That he might actually be gone, and he still might be in January. And I mean, if he even stays to next season, I would be shocked more than I have been in the past. But I mean, I'm happy right now, and we're literally 1 minute away from being in fourth position after an unfortunate draw with Wolves, the 90-minute equalizer. So, I'm feeling good, but the upcoming fixtures are not easy. I did not even recognize this, but the next 6, including tomorrow, is against teams that are in the top 7. So it's going to be tough.
Playing a lot of the big boys.
Yep, because you got after West Ham, you got Man City and Arsenal, Liverpool, Leicester. Leicester, we have dominated the past 2 seasons. I'm not sure why, but
they look good this year.
Great start this season, so it's going to be tough. But I would not be surprised if they win a couple of those at least.
So you mentioned that you were worried at the beginning of the season, but that you guys have had a really good start to the season, and obviously you guys have those expectations changed at all? Are you saying to yourself now something along the lines of maybe we can push for a European spot, or are you still in the mindset of the wheels can come off the tracks at any time? We need to still focus on just surviving here. What are your expectations now, given the strong start to the season?
Yeah, I mean, I am expecting to at least, battle for the 7th spot. That seems to be like Wolves got it last year. Burnley got it the season before that. It's why not us?
Gotcha.
As long as they're right around where they are now, I think they will make a few at the January transfer window to get stronger, possibly bringing in a fullback, bringing a striker. Michy Batshuayi last year, we got him on loan he did a wonderful job. Someone like him going back that can get some goals in the second half of this season. That would be good. But as said before, let's see how these next 6 go and see where we are.
You mentioned losing Wan-Bissaka. I totally forgot about that. That must have been your biggest loss. But the defense for you guys has been excellent and has been a big part of the success of Palace so far. I think I wrote some. So you guys have 3 clean sheets, which is actually joint most with City and us, I believe, so far in the league. You guys have given up only 7 goals, which is the 3rd best in the league. Only Liverpool and Leicester have given up more, or excuse me, less. The defense has been a stronghold. Talk a little bit about that. What do you think have been the keys to success, to the success of your defense so far?
Our best player we brought in has definitely been Gary Cahill, which I was not expecting, but he has been like a manager on the pitch. He is getting everyone in position on free kicks, and he didn't play the first couple matches, but once he got in, he's there to stay. And really, center back, when all healthy, I feel is our greatest strength. James Tompkins, which I know you guys know. He hasn't not yet this season, but then Mamadou Sakho is, he's sometimes great, sometimes scares me a bit with the ball.
Yeah.
Martin Kelly is a very solid guy who could play any of the defensive back 4 positions. Scott Dan has been a great player. He's not as great as he was a couple of years ago. He had a serious knee injury, but I mean, I feel like they can keep keeping clean sheets even if 1 or 2 of them get injured.
And the rest of your team, how have they looked? I know Zaha has been in pretty good form, but what about the rest of the side, the midfield, the attackers? We talked about the defense. How's the rest of your squad been looking so far?
Jordan Ayew at striker has been a good surprise. He was, a guy, he's always going to go out there and hustle, but had trouble putting the ball in the net. And he's done it few times so far this season, including the first one against Man U. The midfield always Luka Milivojevic, the captain. He's probably the best penalty taker, if not one of the best penalty takers the past couple.
He's not playing tomorrow though. He got his fifth yellow card, so he's suspended for the match.
I did I did not see the second half of last.
Yeah, I'm not trying to put you on the spot.
Yeah, no, I thought I would have seen that, but no, it's.
I just found this out. I was reading.
I did not even. He must have gotten it. I know he had. It seemed like he was getting one every match, so I'm not surprised by that. But no, I thought I would have. Maybe I did read that. I wasn't even thinking about that, but yeah, that's going to be interesting then too.
Yeah.
But Kouyaté is also
a
former Hammer.
Mm-hmm. How's he been doing for you guys?
I would like him more if he was just a pure center back. He is very strong defensively, but I don't really like him with the ball at his feet. But very solid defensively, and against the bigger clubs where we're counterattacking, he could possibly get a break started. Getting it up to one of the strikers like Zaha or Townsend or Ayew. Yeah, Andres Townsend has actually not started the past couple matches. He actually got the second goal last week in extra time coming off the bench. But when him and Zaha are on, they're two of the best pacing wings together in the league, I feel.
Yeah.
Schlupp has been playing some wing as well. He had a very solid season last season, and he started pretty well.
Yeah, it seems like you guys are just having some players that are. Well, first of all, the wings, Townsend and Zaha. Yeah, when they're on their game, they're one of the tougher pairs to stop. You mentioned the defense. I totally forgot Gary Cahill's in there. It makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense, that leadership, that presence, that confidence that he instills in others. I'm sure that's just permeated throughout the back four. And then I know, I've seen Ayew hit a few goals in the highlights. I know he's playing well. But yeah, with Luka being out, I think that's huge for us. He's been an incredible midfielder for you guys, sort of the anchor that gets the attack going. Really interested to see how you guys perform without him. And when I read that about a half hour ago, I was admittedly very happy to hear that. He's all over the place all the time. He's a great defender, as well as, again, the guy that anchors the attack. So, but when you have Zaha out there, anything could happen, man. Anything could happen. You guys can beat anyone.
Yeah, he actually felt like he had a slower start to the season. I think the transfer was on his mind, but the last matches he's looked back to normal. So I think going forward, it's everything's going to be fine with him.
Yeah, I think so too. And like you said, he's probably going to be gone next summer. I would say. I think it'd be pretty hard to keep him, but it seems like he's still a man that's playing with some purpose, probably trying to entice teams to bid a little more for him, so that Palace will let him go. He's a good player, though. He's one that I definitely worry about all the time. Every time we play Palace. Go ahead.
I was going to say that. I know Everton was. I don't know how much of his rumors, how much is true, but Everton were in on him.
Right. Yes.
And they haven't played in Europe in a few years, so I think he's really making sure that a team, one of the really top teams, that he's definitely going to Europe. That's on his mind. That I might not be happy, but I'm going to keep playing well. That to up my value and make sure one of the big clubs puts in a big bid for me.
Yeah, Everton's not playing that well right now. If I was a player, I'd rather be on Palace, to be honest. Right. I think Silva is going to get sacked in the next couple of months. He's just not. I just feel like there's no plan B with him. I don't want to get too much in Everton, but I've seen quite a bit from them this season, and with the talent that they have, they should not be playing as poorly as they have. But whatever, it doesn't matter to me. I want to also ask you about Roy Hodgson. Um, I know when he came, when you guys hired him about a year and a half, 2 years ago, I think it was, or maybe it was a little less than that. I'm not quite sure. Um, I know that there were some Palace fans that didn't like the appointment, but I think he's been excellent for you guys. A very good manager for you. What are your thoughts on Roy Hodgson?
Yeah, so I was a little iffy at first. And I mean, I think like most fans, it was how it ended with him as the England manager.
Yeah,
Like losing to Iceland, but now you look at Iceland and they're actually a legit team. It's not as bad as a loss as it'll look like right there.
right.
But this is where he's from. I mean, he's managed, I don't know how many teams in his career, but I think he really, I'm thinking this will be his last managerial role. Maybe not, but I think he wanted to end here. I mean, he saved us 2 seasons ago from, Frank de Boer. He's
Yeah.
less than, doing fine with.
Yeah, what was the start to that season?
We didn't have the talent. Like he's I feel like with Ajax, he won a lot of titles with Atlanta. When you got all the talent, you can play like your back three that he wanted to with Palace, and that wasn't happening. But
what was the start to that season though, Drew? You guys had was it the first 4 games? You guys lost all 4 and didn't score a goal.
It was. Make sure I remember. So it was 4 with De Boer, and then Roy lost the next 2. Positive, and then without scoring a goal. This is 0-6, no goals scored, and then typical Palace way, they go out and beat Chelsea for their first win, and then it all got better.
Yeah, you guys survived. You guys survived with ease. Actually, there. You guys towards the end of that season, from what I remember, weren't too worried.
It wasn't the final. So with Palace, it's always they never survive on the last day, but it's always towards the end. But it was much sooner than that would have been. There's still a few matches left.
How many years left are on Roy's contract? Do you know? I'm just wondering how long you think he'll stay at Palace.
Yeah, this is his last. I would say it was. I don't know how, because he came in with 5. After 5 matches, I don't say he was given a 2.5. Must have been a 3-year. I believe it is after this season. I'm getting all the seasons mixed up now, but this is his third set. Almost third full season it's going to be. But I was a little even surprised that he came back and didn't retire last season, but I think this will be it, but I could be wrong.
And what do you think's been like the keys to his success? Because as you said, a lot of people were iffy with him coming in, but it seems like he's really steadied the ship, and you guys have been pretty consistent.
Yeah, I think it's like the defensive mindedness he has. It's the clean sheets. It's making sure that with Cahill out there, but not being able to see any of their training sessions, but I think there's a big focus on the defense, and then just doing the counterattacking with the speed up.
Gotcha. Yeah, like I said, that defense has been extremely solid. Like I said, 3 clean sheets, joint most, along with us, and then only 7 goals allowed, third best in the league. Some solid numbers there. Let's move actually now into the matchup at hand that's going to be played in about 13 hours. West Ham Palace. Couple interesting facts. We've actually dominated this series over the last handful of years in the Premier League. Some notes that I found here. Let's see. So we're unbeaten against you guys in our last 8 league matches, 4 wins and 4 draws. You've actually only won 5 of the 26 Premier League matches that we played against you. And at the London Stadium, you've visited 3 times, and you've actually only taken away 1 point. You have, and I also think you've given up 3 goals in 2 of those 3 games. So if history tends to repeat itself, which sometimes it does, we look to be in good shape. But first, before we bring it to the actual match, what have you like? How much have you seen of West Ham this year? Have you seen them play at all? And if so, like from what you know, what scares you about West Ham? What are things that you think Palace need to watch out for?
Yeah, I have not seen them very much this year. What I do know is that I mean, but Fabianski is still injured. Is that true? I know he left last night.
Oh, yeah, he's going to be out for a couple months, unfortunately.
Okay. Yeah, it's yeah, I mean, I really have not seen more than maybe a little 10 to 15
Yeah.
in the season.
Yeah, that's okay. I always like to see, like, how much people have seen of West Ham. Me personally, Fabianski being out is massive, and the fact that that, like, and I'm sure a lot of other fans of other teams know that he was our Hammer of the Year last year, our Player of the Year. He's been one of the best goalkeepers. I think he's been the best goalkeeper in the league, minus Ederson and Allison. I think he's been the best goalkeeper outside the top 6. I mean, outside Liverpool and City. And that injury did not look good. It was just on a regular goal kick, and he just tore his hip or his thigh muscle. There's conflicting reports, but he's probably going to be out for 2 to 3 months. And I think it just goes to show you the importance of Fabianski and how well he's done. He led the Premier League in saves last year, and without him, we for sure would be lower in the table this year and last year as well. And I also think we don't really have a solid backup. Not a lot of people believe in our backup, Roberto. He's played in 2 League Cup games. In the latter League Cup game where we got throttled by a League One team, he did not play well at all. And so that'll be a big blow for us. But as I mentioned, just like you guys, we have 3 clean sheets. Our defense has performed very well. Angelo Ogbonna has been our one of our center backs, along with Issa Diop. Ogbonna was not projected to be a starter before the season started, but he took a man by the name of Fabian Balbuena's place, and he really hasn't looked back. He's been playing extremely well. But I think as a Palace fan, what you guys got to worry out most about is our attacking presence. So we have Declan Rice and Mark Noble anchoring in the holding part of the midfield. And then Manuel Lanzini is a center attacker, placed right behind the wingers, Anderson and Yarmolenko, and then Haller up top. Everyone's been really gelling together. So, like, if you guys attack on us, which you guys will, obviously, especially with Zaha on the wing, be ready for that counterattack, because I think West Ham can counterattack with the best of them. Although we are not the best at finishing, but we have a lot of pace, a lot of talent. So we'll see how it goes.
Yeah, I did. I saw an article today about Declan Rice that some of the big bidding for him pretty soon, up to like 100 million. Is this kind of going to be like a Zaha situation that you think this will be the last season?
It's a question that a lot of people are starting to ask. I think, unlike Zaha, Declan Rice, at least publicly, has stated that he loves West Ham. He doesn't think it's the right time to move. And the 100 million price tag was the price tag that was rumored to be set by, like, the board. If someone actually went and bid 100 million, it'd be hard to turn down. It really, really would. However, he means so much to us, Drew. I mean, in my opinion, besides Fabian, and you could argue that Declan Rice is even more valuable. And there's a couple reasons why. First, he can play 90 minutes. He's still 20 years old. He has those young legs still. He can play every game of the season, or nearly every game. Number 2, he's extremely talented. Just an extremely talented. He's an England international. I mean, there's no wonder why people the big boys are bidding for him. But also because we don't have a true holding midfielder. So we have Mark Noble, who could play Declan Rice's spot, but then who would play Mark Noble's spot? We don't have a lot of depth in that area. In my opinion, it should be our top priority in January. We need to sign a solid backup defensive midfielder, because our current one, I said this I've said this since the League Cup defeat. Carlos Sanchez, I don't want him in a West Ham shirt on a competitive pitch ever again. I really do. I'll be thoroughly upset if I see him. So, yeah, it's interesting, man. I personally think he'll be here for 2 more years. That's what I think. I think he'll be here through this year, and then we'll probably convince him to stay another year. And if he keeps on, though, if he keeps on for another couple years, people are going to bid over 100 million for him, and at that point, it's going to be pretty hard to say no.
Yeah. So it sounds like Sanchez is our Christian Benteke. I don't think anyone ever wants to see him on again, but
He's still on Palace? I didn't even know.
yeah, it's so frustrating. I could just tell the talent is still there, but something's just not right.
What do you think? It's mental and no confidence, or
Yeah, I mean, he had a pretty serious leg injury last season. He came back and he's shown at times that, I mean, he looks healthy, that he's, doing some things very athletically that he was doing back when he was like his Aston Villa season that he was there. It looks like it's there, but I mean, 2 weeks ago against Wolves, he had almost all but a breakaway. He did some nice dribbling, then just hit it straight at the goalie. He could have won either side. And it's yeah.
that sounds to me a lot like a confidence issue. You can
Mhm.
you can put it all together, but you just can't finish. It takes that
Yeah.
sort of that mental acuity to really. You sort of have to visualize it going to the back of the net.
Yeah, because it's been forcing, Jordan Ayew really to play. I mean, Zaha's, kind of wing, kind of striker.
Yeah,
But, it'd be nice if him and, whether it's, I mean, Ayew, yeah, he's been great, but I don't like him just as a single striker up top. I think if those two could figure it out, it could be so much better. But I don't know. It's just frustrating. But then the other way, which I didn't even mention before, about saying about your goalkeeper issues, that Vicente
Yeah.
has been terrific, and Wayne Hennessey had been our goalie the past few seasons, and
yeah,
he's a solid backup, and he's many international caps with Wales, so he's played a lot, great length. I mean, but Guiata is so much quicker and the quickest hands I've ever seen. Some of the saves he's made, just getting his arm up in absolutely no time, have been great. So, to go on with our back four, and he's a big reason with the clean sheets as well, not just the defense. He's made some great saves that I don't think many keepers in the Premier League are making.
yeah, and like you said, I think it's just like Fabianski. He saved probably 8 to 10 goals for us last year. So you can't do the calculation to the point, but I mean, you're probably saving 5, 6, 7 points at that point. And I'm sure the same could be said for your keeper as well. All right, so we'll wrap it up here. We're approaching 30 minutes, but we have to end it with a prediction. Of course, we can talk about the match all we want, but we always gotta put it out there and see if we're right at the end of the match. So I always let guests go first. What is your prediction for the match tomorrow, Drew?
Well, I mean, as we were talking about before, yeah, not a good track record recently.
Yeah.
But I think even though they're home, form has been much better than past. I still usually prefer going on the road. I can't pick them to lose, of course. So I'm going to go Palace 2, West Ham 1.
Palace 2, West Ham 1. I'm actually so this is the first time that I actually have not agreed with a guest. So this is my fourth or fifth time doing this. And every time I've agreed with a guest on the score. It's been sort of eerie. But first time I'm actually not going to agree with a guest. I'm actually going to go 2-1, but I'm going West Ham. We've developed London Stadium as a fortress. We've really started to play. I think in our last 11 matches at home, we've only lost one, and that was to Man City. So we're really just starting to really come into our own at home. We're really starting to make it our own atmosphere. The fans are starting to get into it more. It helps that we're playing well, obviously, but I think being at home is going to give us that extra confidence. I think it'll be extremely difficult for Palace to come in and get a victory. But knowing West Ham, that can certainly happen. But I'm going to go 2-1. Drew, I hope you're wrong. I hope I'm right. But hey, man, thanks for coming on the show. Neil prediction. So we got a lot. Do you see the comments or no?
I do not.
Oh, you don't? Okay. I put one on the screen here. Yeah, Neil from Down Under. Neil's one of our regulars. He says 3-1 West Ham. Neil, I was actually going to go 3-1 West Ham, but Palace's defense has been pretty solid this year, so I brought it down to 2. Wally says it's the new carpet. I don't know if you know this is true, but we used to have, so you might have heard the London Stadium, how the stands are far from the pitch, but we used to have a bunch of green grass around it, or I guess not AstroTurf, but field turf. And we just inserted a claret carpet around. So it sort of makes the different, like the distance between the pitch and the stands a little more distinguishable. And it looks really nice. Ken says 2-0, by the way, there. 2-0, I'm assuming West Ham. But since that claret carpet, I think it's been our last 11 or 12 games. We've won 7, lost 3, and won 7, drawn 3, and lost 1. So, like I said, we're really coming into our own. But yeah, Neil says, thanks for coming on, Drew. Been very interesting to get the other team's point of view. Thanks for listening, guys that are watching live now. And Drew, thank you for coming on the show. Really appreciate it. And I'm looking forward to meeting you at AJ's tomorrow morning.
Yeah, same with you. And thank you for having me. And thank you for pointing out the Luka thing that I thought would have been a bigger deal, and it was just not mentioned. So it's going to be interesting because, he plays every match, but his form has been a little down than the past couple of years. So I think we can get away with it for one match, but interesting who's going to wear the captain's armband. I'm thinking Cahill probably will.
Oh, Cahill, really? After only a few. Okay. Not Zaha?
Are you going to have a guess with that? We could guess that too. Who's going to be the captain?
I would trust your judgment on that.
I don't know. That's just popped into my head but it could be. Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Yeah, because he never even comes out of matches. He just, I'm trying to remember. Did he play in like an FA Cup match possibly? I can't even remember who was last season, but we'll see.
Well, we will see because he is not playing. All right, Drew. Take care, man. Really appreciate it.
All right, Justin. I will see you in the morning.
All right. Sounds good.
All right.